Hello.
Oh, good morning. I don't know who it is. I can't tell yet.
Why?
Okay.
Only me, Subu.
Oh, hi, Subu. There you go. Okay. It's here, I guess.
I'm early. Don't mind me.
No, you're on time. But how have you been?
Busy.
Busy? You guys went
Busy.
on a, are you going, are you coming today?
Yeah, I miss all of you. So I have not been. I think I didn't see you guys for like a month.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay,
Trying to.
good. Then you can fill us in on the cruise and everything else.
Yeah, yeah. It was really, really awesome.
Yeah. Well, those are pretty behind you, Subu. The vases and the arrangement, both.
Yeah, there's an exhibition coming up. It's the theme end of this February, and the theme is fans. So I've been trying out various iterations of fans,
Ah,
i- you know, in the
uh-huh.
arrangement. Yeah. So this is not final though, but it will have a fan. You want to see the rest? You want to see some?
Yeah. Oh, okay. There's more, huh?
Yeah, well, they're all turn it around, and you can see.
More prototypes, huh?
Yeah, all prototypes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
See?
Very, yeah, I like that one. I like both of those. Wow.
This one, I'm going to replace the flower, of course.
Yeah.
This one is this one.
Uh-huh.
It's nice, very huge. But I already shown it at JCCH, but I like it best. But I've already shown it. And if I want to do it, I'll put like a spray of orchids, white orchids down like that.
Ah,
Then it'll be really ikebana because the rest are all dry. See this one? I can just stick it out like that. Then I'm just round it because I tie everything. This one, I also like it. But if I were to show it, I'll change this orchid to like a spray of philip piece, the big orchids. This one,
uh-huh.
I'll change it to big
You are
orchids.
good.
Down like that.
Are
I'll
those
have,
new, Cebu?
huh?
Yeah.
And then this one, last one.
I like,
That's it.
actually, I like
All
them
prototype.
all.
Huh?
I
It,
like them all.
okay, enough. Let's come back.
Okay. Okay. So the rest of you guys who just joined, Subu is an Ikebana master. Unless
And not master, not
she
master.
does, yeah, she's really, really humble about it.
Practitioner,
But she's
practitioner.
really good. So the end of February is the what I don't know what it's the theme is fans, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a big exhibition again, and we're the Japanese Cultural Center.
No, this will be at Manoa Public Library.
Ah, okay.
I'll send you all the info.
And so she's showing, so she'll be here today, and but she's showing some of her prototypes, some of the ones she's experimenting with to arrive at, right? Those are really nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we're in a better position this week. Last week, Carol created the Ollie channel, but she didn't give me permission to get in. So she figured that out that afternoon, and she gave me permission. So now I can log into the account, and we can have this right here. Okay. So let's see who most people are here. Let's see, Sydney. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, Ed said he couldn't make it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering about Ed. And who else normally is here?
Two marks, maybe?
Oh, the two Marks too. Yeah. Well, both of them sometimes log in a little late.
Yeah.
Thursday's kind of hard for Mark Land because he's
Mhm.
still a working man. So boy, but I mean, he's one of the tops in his field too when it comes to artificial intelligence, machine learning.
Yep.
So he's still working. Okay, see, close up you guys. And let's share something. And I love what Zoom has done right here, that they make it so much easier now, so much quicker to switch between applications. So this is where you are. This is the one thing I wish they'd fix. I can see a black bar. I don't think you guys can see a black bar, but the black bar shows up in the recordings sometimes. So I have to hide it every time we do some kind of a switch. So this is Beyond Foundation, lesson 1. And again, it's a little bit different than what I've done in the past because I'm trying to build upon what we've learned, but I'm trying to make sure you aren't left behind. Oh, the Palmers also are usually here.
Oh, yeah.
And so again, how do we win a backgammon game?
Finish off first.
Yep, before your opponent, and also don't forget
Cue.
that cue,
Cue.
right? So switch out of this here. Shouldn't have done that. Let's go back here and do this right here. So this is what we should be doing, right? But again, the novice doesn't even think about this right here. So we have to make sure that we think about this. Okay, so let's start with something. Let's start off a real positive foot. Okay. I haven't figured out how to, in a simple way, to explain this yet, but it's a really important concept. So there's going to be a sequence of rolls when you're playing the racing game. Your opponent has roll 1, roll 2, roll 3, roll 4, roll 5, roll 6, okay? You're going to have some rolls. And you too, unless you're cheating, you cannot control what numbers are going to come out.
Sorry.
So hopefully your opponent can't control the dice, right? So you can't control these numbers, but
Here, take this.
what can
Hey.
you do?
I'm gonna take the other chair, the small. The move
Oh,
one.
when I get this small.
You can determine how many rolls you'll probably need to get off, and you can change your structure to accommodate that. Okay, so let's say percentage-wise, Zoom's not working. Oh, okay. I don't know what's happening here. It's missing some stuff. Okay, so what it's supposed to have is some percentage under here. Let's say on roll 1, they have a 0% chance of getting off. They have maybe 5 or more checkers. Okay. Then roll 2, they have a certain percentage. Roll 3, you have a certain percentage. Roll 4, 5, and 6, and maybe they're guaranteed to be off by roll 6. Okay. Same thing with us. If we play it like a normal, just smooth bear off, then we'll be with certain probabilities off in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rolls. So what we can do, though, since we cannot control the dice, we can minimize wastage. Almost always. Almost always we can minimize wastage, which is a pretty important thing. So let's show how we can change the probabilities a little bit. So if we have a situation like, okay, I'm clicking and nothing's happening. Try this new set position, let's try that. And let's say we have, I've got to make you guys smaller. I can't see anything on the board. Huh? Okay. What view do I want? Here's immersive. Here's the others. No, we don't want any of those. And I can't get rid of you guys right now. Okay. Not going in meeting at all. You'd think I know how to use this thing by now, right? Okay, I've got speaker gallery, multi-speaker immersive, show self view, hide non-video participants, none of those what we want. And here's full screen. And if I just go straight back to a share, maybe that'll do it. Oh, let's do that. Okay. Now I can't see you guys at all, which is kind of good. You're not covering up the screen. So let's say we've played a number already. We've played, let's do this right here. So put it there and let's give it a 5-1. Okay. And we are playing against this position right here. How do we play a 5-1? Well, you guys know that you would take this checker off and then play this checker to here, right? Because you're going to have enough rolls to do this, and you want to make sure you get off in a couple rolls, which you'll probably have. But if you're playing against this situation, then you look at their side. They only have one. They're probably going to leave you going to leave you just one roll to get off. They're going to take off 2 checkers unless they roll doubles. You can't do anything about that. But then you'll have one roll to get off. So in this case, after you take the 5 off, it's best to stack, because now you have a chance to get off the with double 2s, and you didn't have that before. You had all the other doubles, but now you like double 3s and above, but now you've got double 2s also. So this is easily the best play with a 5-1 here. What's that? This should be quick to ask XG. Okay. Oh, let's put it here. Okay. So it's a medium-sized error not to play this right here. This is the best play. And then the second best play, which is equal either way you play it. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to share so I can get rid of you guys again. Okay, so that was the situation where we're changing the number of rolls we need to get off. All right. We have our normal distribution of, if we had more rolls, we could smooth, and if we only have one more roll, we need to change it so we can get off in one roll. Okay. So we can't control the dice that are going to be rolled, but we can do our best not to waste the pips that we are given. So today we're going to look at the racing game plan in all of its many beautiful forms. And the general definition of racing game plan, you guys already know, right? So just to read that first part right there, a strategy adopted when the players are ahead in the pip count, focusing on moving the checkers home and bearing them off as quickly and safely as possible. So the core principle that Kit Woolsey stated a long time ago was, when ahead in the race, race. And so all the rest of this, you can read this later right here. But the main thing is don't race when you're behind. You're unlikely to win, right? You may have a better chance of hitting a blot and winning from there. So when ahead in the race, race. When behind the race, don't race. Usually.
What if it's pretty much even? Is it worth racing?
So it depends. Yeah, look at the position and see who is favored by blocking, that is not racing, and who's favored by clearing and racing. So if it looks like you're going to gain more by keeping the block and the race is about even, then you should do that, because maybe they have to place something, maybe they crash some more inside their board, right? So they're going to set up to waste pips later on. So if you can set them up to waste pips, then do that. But they have to weigh that against the danger from leaving a blot and getting hit. Okay. So that's how you look at it.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, who was speaking just now?
Kathy.
That's what I thought. I should have said at the top that it was revealed to me yesterday that Kathy played a match against, in my opinion, one of the top 5 players in the United States, and someone who's always on the women's team that represents the United States when they play internationally, Karen Davis. So big applause for that. That's a biggie right there. Congratulations, Kathy.
Thanks.
Okay. So we're going to cover the racing game plan versus the racing game plan, because there's 4 game plans altogether, right? And racing game plan against racing game plan usually means no contact races. There might be a minimum amount of races, but minimum amount of contact. But basically, there's essentially no contact. We're going to play the racing game plan against the attacking game plan and against the priming game plan. And in more situations, against the contact game plan. Okay, so no contact races, the first one. We have this right here. We both have 15 pips. Which position would you rather have?
Brown,
Brown. Why brown?
because yellow's pips are checkers are better for like if they roll doubles, but any other roll, I have a better chance of rolling the numbers I need spread out.
Okay. And if you look at this also, we have a checker on the 6 point. They don't. So if they roll a 6 on their die,
Right,
they've already wasted a pip.
right.
Right. So yeah, so the being diversified is good. Okay, let's look at the percentage of wins if you are white or brown. So if you are brown and you're on roll, your chances of winning are about 75%. If you are white and you're on roll, your chances of winning are about 66%. So 3/4 versus 2/3, right? In either case, if you're on roll, it's a double and a take. But in this position, you win more. Diversified, being diversified. This way you win a little bit less. So can we conclude that diversification is important? Maybe, probably. Okay. I have this position right here, or Brown has this position. Show me your best position with 15 pips. What would you do?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Oh, okay. So you can place checkers on the board and have it total 15 pips. Okay. Where would you like to place the white pieces? You can
Is
use
it only with 3 checkers you have to have 15, or
Nope.
how many?
any number. You can choose. You can put 15 pips on the 1 point if you want to. Or you could put 3 on the 5 point, which we did already. Maybe I need to phrase the question better. Okay. But if you were given that choice, someone wanted to play it as a proposition, maybe, where you would set up a 15 pip position, you should put it right here. 1 checker. This will give you your best winning chances. Okay.
Wow. I never would have
But
thought
if
that.
Yeah.
What if you had 15 pips on the 1 point? 15 checkers.
Oh, then you're guaranteed to lose probably, right?
Oh, yeah. Too many rolls to get off. You're only going to take 2 off every time, most likely.
Right.
Unless you get doubles every roll. But even still, you're not going to make it.
Right. If you get doubles every roll, you're very unlikely to win. Okay. So yes, if you have one choice or one position you could set up with 15 pips, put it there. So in other words, if you wanted to set up the best position for 79 pips, which you can't do on a board with 24 points, you'd put on the 79 point. That would be the best position you could put for 79 pips. 1 checker.
So is this because you've talked before about the average roll being about 8?
Right. 8.1333, right?
So is that because with that in mind, you should be
base
off?
24. Yeah.
I'm sorry, with that in mind, what?
But 2 rolls would be 16.
With 2 rolls, you'd be off
Probably, right?
from that
Probably.
position. I
It
mean,
could
if
be-
you got the average of 8 both times,
Right.
then you should be off in 2 versus
Right.
maybe your opponent needs 3. Who knows?
So
So there's almost no wastage on the first
exactly,
roll.
that's the big difference right there, right?
Right.
No wastage on the next roll
Wow.
and very little wastage on the next roll. Okay, that's the big difference right there. Okay.
Did you move all the pips you whatever the die shows you roll.
Right.
Move.
You can roll them. Whereas if with the brown position, you could end up wasting pips, this turn or
Right.
next, right? Okay. So if you are white and on roll, your chance of winning are about 74%, 73.5%. And if you're black on roll, your chance of winning about 67%. So again, if you got to choose between the 2 positions, white on roll with 1 checker, brown on roll with 3 checkers, you choose the one with white. Okay. Again, both situations are double take, but now your chance of winning are better if you have that 1 single checker. So can we conclude that the number of checkers remaining is important?
Yes.
Yeah. In that case,
In lots of cases, right?
I would say almost always, yes.
Almost always. Yeah, there's some exceptions, right? So here's an extreme situation right here, right?
Mike?
Yeah.
You have each side has 6 pips,
Okay. Tell him
and which side would you rather have?
it helped to develop the wellness program.
Brown.
Brown, easily, right? You'd much rather have
we can
this.
invest.
If you're on roll as brown, you're guaranteed to win. The worst thing you roll is a 2-1, you move to the 3 point, and then your opponent's going to, let's say they give your opponent doubles, then you roll 2-1 and you're off. There's no way you can get off. You can't get off in 2 rolls. You can with 17 rolls get off in 1 roll. Right? So those are 6 pips and above. So we know how to count that up, right? 6 direct numbers, 6s or 11. The 11 direct numbers of 6 plus 5, 1 and 1, 5 and 4, 2 and 2, 4 and double 2s and double 3s. So 17 numbers to get off, 19 numbers not to get off. But if you don't get off, you're going to win. This is acting a little bit differently today. Usually you can use the arrows or the space bar to advance between the slides. It's not letting me do that right now. Okay. So here, if you're brown, you are guaranteed to be off and win in 2 rolls, and there's no way that your opponent can be off in 2 rolls. So what happens if you're white and you're on roll? What are your winning chances? Just take a wild guess.
17%.
17%.
25%.
It looks like almost 0, right? I mean, this
Oh,
white,
yeah, right.
right? White has to
Doubles.
fail to get off
Okay.
with 19 rolls. And then they've got to roll, white has to roll doubles, either this turn or next turn, to win. And that's kind of a long shot, but
if they're on roll, it looks pretty even. Huh?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that, Alan.
If white is on roll,
Mm-hmm.
you only have four checkers left, right?
They could have 4 checkers left. They could have 2 checkers left if they roll doubles.
Yeah,
You're going to definitely need at least 2 turns, right?
right.
And you have to fail to get off.
Mhm.
So you actually have about 7%, a little bit more than 7% to win as white, which seems like a lot because of needing doubles this turn or next turn. And on top of that, you're brown not being able to get off in 1 roll. So to me, that's much better than it would seem.
Right.
So can we conclude that being on roll is important?
Yes.
Yep, we're all nodding our heads, right? So there's all these 3 factors, right? Tiny, it should be bigger. I don't know why it's small now. Number of checkers remaining. Oh, I know why. I switched the themes in the middle of this thing. Okay, number of checkers remaining. Is diversification more important, or is being on roll more important? Well, it kind of depends on the position, but let's try and do it in a general sense. Right? Which factor is most important? Okay,
Diversification.
I'm sorry, something was mumbled.
Diversification.
Okay, diversification. Okay, so diversification is a really good important thing, right? But if I were to rank them in most cases, I would say number 1 being on roll. That you're on roll, you have a better chance to win because you're going first, right? And then the number of checkers remaining, I think, is the second most important. The third most important might be diversification. Okay, but they can be really, really close in a lot of situations. So again, being on roll, number of checkers remaining, and diversification, and they can even flip priorities based on the situation. So in this position, we saw white can be raised from the dead by being on roll. And we know that we'd much rather have the diversified side, right? So what does this mean when you are bearing off? It means first toggle greedy. So that's a concept of taking off as many checkers as you possibly can with your roll. So if you roll 2 numbers and you have checkers on both of those points, usually it's right to just take those 2 checkers off. If you roll doubles, try and take as many checkers off as you can. So that's the concept of toggle greedy. And if you can't toggle greedy, if you cannot, oh, we lost something here too. Okay, if you can't toggle greedy, it should say under here, diversify or smooth when you can't when you cannot take a checker off directly. So diversify. So first toggle greedy, second diversify. And that's in most cases. And you do it in that order. Important to do it in that order. Some people will try and smooth before they toggle greedy, and that's usually wrong. Okay. So this is the famous 7-5-3 position for the bear off. And it is the position that has the least amount of wastage for any 79 pip position. Lots of people will want to spread their checkers out, even on the lower points when they roll smaller numbers, they have something to take off. But it's just going to lead to more wastage. So white also has a 79 pip position, and black has a 79 pip position. And you get to go first. Which side would you rather play?
Brown.
Yep, brown. I just told you guys the answer, right?
Yes.
So I think I found a better way to switch between these things. We're going to go to XG, throw in an come on, XG, come on up. Here we go. We're going to throw in the XG ID. And we come up with this position right here.
We're seeing your slide, Mike.
Not seeing the slide. What do we? Oh, I've got to switch again to the. Okay, so each have 79 pips. The expert player will bear into a position that looks like this right here. And someone who's not as expert might try to do something like this. But when you play around with this, and a really good experiment is to play both sides at the same time, roll the dice, follow the rules for toggle greedy first, and then smooth or diversify next. And so let's say you roll a 6-2. Play a 6-2 for black and play a 6-2 for white. And see which one gets off first after you go through all the rolls. And you'll see that when you play them simultaneously, black will almost always win. Okay. There may be some odd situations where small doubles are rolled, and it's helpful to white. But in most cases, almost all cases, black's going to win.
Mhm.
So this is a position that you will try to achieve when you bear in. So can we edit? I don't know if I can edit this completely. They used to say things like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 was good. And that is pretty good. So basically you want to look for a position like this. You don't worry about putting checkers on your 1, 2, and 3 point. But when you bear in, bringing all your checkers into your inner board, this is what you're looking for. You'll have a lot more success. So this should be your, let's see, oh, there. This should be the shape. That shape should be your bearing goal. Okay. Anomalies? Are these anomalies? Let's see. You have a 4-2 to play. So let's look at a couple of positions. And here's a 4-2. We're seeing the board again. Good. Okay. How do you play a 4-2 here?
Take off each one, 4 and 2.
Right, those are our rules, right? Those are our rules. Take 2 checkers off. And usually that's the absolute best thing you can do. But look at how many more rolls you'll have to win this position. Are you winning or losing? You're kind of losing right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got more pips than your opponent, and he or she has fewer checkers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how many rolls do you think you'll get to bear off all your checkers? Well, they'll probably take off 1 or 2 checkers, and then they'll take off 2 the next time, and then they'll be off in 3. So that means you have 2 rolls to get off all your checkers in order to win this game. So maybe this one's a little bit different. And Stick Rice thinks that, or Jacob Rice, his nickname is Stick in the backgammon world, thinks that 99% of the people will get this wrong. Well, let's see. There's another play. We could play 4 to 2 and 3 off. Right? The rules allow us to do that. We're not taking the full 4 pips, but we're only taking 3 of the 4 pips by doing that. We wasted a pip. But it'll improve our winning chances. So this is what we would normally do. Right? Take 2 checkers off. But if we do this, which is slightly better, now double 2s work for us. Before we only had double 3s and above, but now we have double 2s and above. And this will increase our winning chances by just a tiny bit, like 1%. It increases our winning chance. You can see the difference between these 2 right here. Right? So the first thing that we talked about, where we look at how many rolls we have to get off, and I haven't figured out a really clear and easy way to understand that, but I think you guys probably get it from what we talked about before, right? A fixed number of rolls, given the dice you're going to have, and you have to be off before your opponent. So when you look at it that way, since you're behind in the race, this is what you want to do. You want to change the frequency of rolls you're going to get off. So you're increasing the chances you're going to be off in 2 rolls by doing this play right here. So a general rule would be when you're ahead in the race and you're winning, you should smooth. And when you're behind in the race, boot, you could toggle greedy and then smooth to our normal way of playing it. But when you're behind in the race, you need to look at how you can increase your chances of being off in fewer rolls. Okay.
I'm not sure I see why this is really to an advantage.
You're not seeing why it's to your advantage. Okay.
Because if I look at this position as we see it right now,
Mm-hmm.
now white is on roll, right?
So after you, right. So white's on roll. They'll probably
Okay.
take up 2 checkers.
And if I look at how many, if they just get 2 off each time,
Uh-huh.
then they need 3 rolls to get off, and they're
Right.
on. I need 3 rolls to get off, but I'm not on roll. So it seems to me like I'm still behind and I still need doubles just like I did before. I'm not sure
Right. So
what am I not understanding?
you do need doubles. If they take up 1 or 2 checkers here, they'll probably be in a 2-roll position left, and then they take another 1 roll, another more checkers off, and they're probably in a 1 roll less position. But they could, in rare cases, they could like play a 3-2 or something,
Mhm.
and that takes 1 checker off.
Just get 1 off, yeah.
Then they can roll something on an ace and get 2 checkers off, but they have a vacant ace point and they can miss. So rarely will they be off in more than 3 rolls. It's possible, right? But most of the
Yeah.
time they'll be off in 3 rolls. Okay? Which means you have to be off in 2 rolls, right? So that we're all there. We're together on that one, right? So far.
Yep.
Okay. So from this position right here, all doubles, you need to roll doubles now or next turn. in order to beat them.
Right.
So let's say you roll double threes. You're probably going to win. Double fours, double fives, double sixes, you're probably going to win. But what happens if you roll double twos? Then two of the checkers will go here. One checker comes off.
Mhm.
And even though you've rolled doubles this turn, you're still going to need doubles next turn. Okay, let's new set a position. They are here. We are,
So the difference is just needing doubles twos versus double threes.
right, that's the difference. That's the difference. Trying to explain, let's see. The other position. Seems like I've got, oh, let's, 4, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. One more checker here.
Yeah, there were 3 on the 2 point.
Right. Okay. So if you take 2 checkers off, then they take off 1 checker. But let me explain that other part of having, normally from this position right here, they're going to just need 2 rolls to get off. They
Right.
could roll doubles, be off in 1 roll, or they could roll an ace, and then the turn after that rolled another ace. And
Right.
so from that position, this position right here, that happens about 5.5%. And they could be off in 1 more roll, which, gives you a good chance to win. But let's say they take off 1 checker. You play this right here. And now you roll double twos. You have to play it this way right here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means you're going to need doubles next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But if instead we play this deuce and this 3, okay, so we've played the 2 from 4 to 2, and
Mm-hmm.
then the 4 by taking one off the 3
Take
point,
the 3 off. Mm-hmm.
and they take off a checker maybe. Let's give them a good one here. They've taken off 2 checkers. Now we have 1 more way to roll doubles. And if we do roll those double twos, then we don't need doubles the next turn. Okay. So that will give us a better chance of being off in just the 2 more rolls. Does that make sense, Jane?
Yeah.
So it's just that 1 roll, right? That you're adding. You're adding double twos here to increase your chances of winning. And it's smaller than normal because they could be off in just a couple of rolls by rolling large doubles or even double threes or double fours or something, and being off in just a couple rolls, you won't have a chance. But if they do take more than 2 rolls, then this gives you a little bit more of a chance to win.
I don't, I'm not good with numbers.
Well,
And odds and all of that. It
Uh-huh.
just it doesn't seem like, well, it seems to me like, and it's probably not true, but it seems to me like the odds of if he had his checker on the 5 still, back to his original position,
Mhm.
if he rolls 3, 4, for example,
I'm sorry, what number?
if he rolled 3, 4, he doesn't get anything off.
Well, he gets 1 checker off, right? 4 and 3.
Oh, sorry, he does. Okay, I was trying to come up with a number that would not take anything off.
Yeah, I don't think there's a number that doesn't take anything.
Is that the key then? There's nothing that he can roll that won't get at least one off?
Yeah, that's part of the key, right?
Because then it makes more sense to me if that's the case, that no matter what then I really do have to maximize for doubles because there's no chance that he's not gonna get like left with with the same number of checkers still. So
Right.
back to
Right.
your number of rolls to get off.
Right.
If he's in a position where he can't get something off, then this roll has it makes more sense to me to not take two off and to stack and go for the doubles and all of that. But if he can always get one off, it wasn't making sense to me. I think that's where I got stuck.
Okay. So yes, you can take one off every time. And the best you can hope for is that maybe he takes the checker off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he rolls like a 5-1 or an ace.
5-1 or something, yeah.
You know,
Then he rolls another ace.
I'm thinking if I were to get this position, it would take me, I don't know how long to figure this out.
I know.
Right. So this is kind of an expert thing. So if you just follow the rule of toggle greedy and then smooth, you're not going to be too far off, right? Let's see, where are we? 4-2. And we got to get the checker that.
Yeah, but it'll take me forever to figure out that my better bet is to hedge on getting a double two to win. You know, that's that slim chance of getting a double two because otherwise I'm doomed. You know.
Right. So first off, if you follow our rule of
Yeah.
toggle greedy,
Mm.
you'll end up here. And look at the difference between the best play and the worst, and the play you're making. It's only 0.020, so it's a minor error, really minor, right?
Really small difference.
But we were looking at, let's see, what was the one? 3, and let's see, we have a 5-1 to play here. Okay. We looked at smoothing or not smoothing. Okay.
Right.
And so this is an extension of if your opponent has this should work right here too, right? This position right here, then you're a favorite to win. But if they have a better position, then you need to make double twos work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
The only chance of getting off then.
right.
That part I get. It's the last part that was really blowing my mind, and I don't think I'd see it over the board.
Okay. Yep. So basically it's the same concept extended. And
Right.
it doesn't happen as often when you have more checkers on the board.
Right.
Almost always when you have more checkers, it's toggle greedy, take as many off as you can,
Right.
then smooth, in that order. And here's one more anomaly. I think I threw it in the clipboard. Right here. Okay. Your each side has 48 pips. Right?
Right.
But brown has 8 checkers and white has 9 checkers. So our rule about fewer checkers off would say we want to be brown, but our rule about diversification says we'd rather be white.
Right.
So which one is a better position to be in? Well, let's look at it from each side. Let's look at it from.
I'm afraid to say my gut reaction.
No, it's actually good because it makes you challenges what you believe, right? When you say it out loud.
Which one is on roll though?
So you get to choose which one's on roll, right? You can choose the 9-pip position and be on roll as white, or you can choose the 8 roll position and 8-pip position, eight checkers on the 6-point position and be on roll. And which one would you rather have? Okay. So, but in continuation of the challenging your beliefs, when I learned backgammon, the experts and the book writers said, this is what you should do. And they usually had reasoning, but they didn't have tools like XG or New Backgammon or BG Blitz to help verify things. And now we've got those things. So before that happened, Jeremy Bagai, who's a great writer, in 2001, wrote a book called Classic Backgammon Revisited. So he looked at the books that authors had written, and he looked at let's see, I'm looking for a list of the, well, I know they are. Barclay Cook is one of them, who wrote Paradoxes and Probabilities. There is Bill Roberti, who wrote some books that they said were the best. Okay? McGrill says this is what you should do. So all the experts are saying that this is what you should be doing in this position right here. But Josh Billings in the Encyclopedia of Wit and Wisdom said the trouble with people is not that they don't know, but that they know so much that ain't so. And it's not what Will Rogers says, it's not what we don't know that hurts, it's what we know that ain't so. So we learned from these experts and we thought they were right. But Jeremy Bagai in 2001 wrote a book called Classic Backgammon Revisited. And he looked at these positions that the experts had said this is what you should be doing. And he found the flaws in a lot of them. So again, it was the Backgammon book by Oswald Jacoby and John Crawford. And Backgammon for Profit by Joe Dweck, one of the strongest English players. Backgammon by Paul McGrill. Paradoxes and Probabilities by Barclay Cook. And Advanced Backgammon by Bill Roberti. And these books were written between 1970 to 1978 for all those except for Bill Roberti, which is 1991. He also has books, Bill Roberti also had books like 501 Essential Backgammon Problems. And he had mistakes in those too. Okay. So when you say it out loud, what you think your gut reaction is, it helps you reinforce, oh, maybe I need to think a little bit harder about that. Maybe I need to spend a little more time deciding on my play after I roll the dice. We roll the dice, we say, oh, this is good, and we make a play instantly. But maybe not doing the right thing. Maybe, and this is the biggest way to make an error, maybe you're not playing the right game plan. Right? Okay? So you have to think about what you think you know. And that, for me, that's been the biggest thing, is all these things I learned 50 years ago, 40 years ago, and I think this is the case. I leave Backgammon for a while to take care of my grandmother, and I come back and the world's changed, right? I didn't have neural nets to work with. I didn't have XG or BG Blitz or New Backgammon. Okay, so yes, it's I will go through and verify, right? But did he use in 2001? He used one of the some of the software available, Mark. So one thing that he used, there's programs like Expert Backgammon and TD Gammon, which he really didn't have access to. But the first commercially available backgammon playing neural net was Jellyfish and Snowy. Jellyfish first and Snowy was next, right? And he did use those to verify the results. And they do, and his book still does hold up. So even though a lot of these books don't hold up anymore, in terms of giving you the right answer, in terms of constantly you should be thinking about, it still makes sense to read a lot of these old ones. Okay, maybe they have the right concept, but maybe they're applying it improperly. Okay, so if we do this from, let's see, we're going to give the cube to Brown, and we're going to say that let's put it in the middle. If Brown is on roll, their winning chances are about 57.63%. Okay. And if we change who cancel, misclick here, change who the active player is to White, and they're on roll with 9 checkers, but better diversification, they're going to win 67%. Okay. So even though we said that the number of checkers off is probably the most important part of the position, most important factor for winning, in this case, it's not true. It's more important to have 1 extra checker and better diversification. So this is, again, a little bit of an extreme example. Okay. But you have to remember what those 3 factors are. Diversification, number of checkers off, and what was the last one?
Whether you're on roll.
I don't know.
Right, whether you're on roll, right? So those, in this case, it shows that being on roll is better, but it's better to have better diversification instead of fewer checkers off, which is our number 2. Okay. All right, so anomalies. So the first one we'll look at, because we have a pretty good idea of how to play RGP versus RGP, racing game plan against racing game plan, right? And we know how to calculate the doubling points. In a race above 60 pips, we're going to use the point of last take that Art Benjamin improved upon from Walter Trice, and that is what all the better players use now. It's easy to calculate and it is accurate. Okay? And then when we have fewer checkers off, we look at we guesstimate the number of rolls we're going to each side's going to need, and we adjust our checker play accordingly. And in the bear off, we follow the rules of toggle greedy, followed by smooth. So when we're playing against an attacking game plan, what is our game plan? So much faster. Okay. So let's go with the position like, no, I didn't have time to do that, did I? Okay, we're going to start over again here. Here we go. Okay. So you can see that Brown is bearing off to their right, bottom right, and White's bearing off top left, top right. Okay. And let's say here's our initial position. And let's say Brown starts with a 5-2. Oh, there you guys are. Wasn't letting me get rid of you guys last time. And we play this way, right, the standard way. And then White now rolls double 5s. And they attack us, putting 2 of our checkers up on the bar. 2 checkers on the bar. There we go. They're playing an attacking game plan. And we are playing at this point kind of unspecified. Right? But how do we play this thing? Hopefully, we can establish an anchor. So if we roll double twos, how do we play double twos? Bueller.
Both to 21.
Okay, so we could play two up, make an anchor right here, right? What else can we do? Can we
2
try
to
and get even
23
more?
and 2 to 4.
Yep, so those are probably the best plays right there, right? So let's let XG think about it. And XG says, hey, we can come in the 23 point, or there might make a 2 anchor, and we can improve our side of the board also. Okay. So the important thing is we got an anchor. Right? Now, this is another anchor, but we can do more than just that. So when is our opponent going to lay off the attacking game plan? They're going to stop playing it when we anchor, because their goal is to try and close us out. Okay? So now they can't close us out anymore, now that we have an anchor. So they're also going to stop playing the attacking game plan when they get behind in the race, which usually means that they don't have enough checkers in the zone to continue the attack. Because right now they only have 8 checkers in the zone. They have 7 checkers away from the zone, but 8 checkers in the zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's really not enough to do an effective attacking game plan. We could have been more accommodating to their game plan by dancing both checkers or dancing one checker, allowing them to bring checkers in the outfield and bring more checkers in the zone. So they go from 8 to 10 maybe. Or maybe they make another point in their inner board. But we didn't do that. We came in right away with an anchor. So they are going to probably lay off the attacking game plan if they're smart at this point. And again, they're going to lay off the attack game plan if they get behind in the race, which is usually intertwined with not having a checker in the zone. So what happens if they're only attacking a single checker? Okay. So we start off with a 6-5. We run away. Then they roll double fives. What's their best play for double fives?
2 to the 3 and 2 to the 1.
Yes, it's still attacking. That's still their best play right here, to attack. Are we thinking? It's thinking right now. Okay. So they could do something. In the old days, they would have played 13 to 3 with 2 checkers and improving their board. But we know nowadays that it's better to go on the offensive. By a wide margin, we saw. Okay. So I can go back and show it again. Okay. It'd be a blunder not to make this play right here. So we have 9 numbers that dance, right? Combinations of 6s, 3s, and 1s that dance. And it puts them in a really strong position. So let's say we now roll double fives from here. Let's see, I've got to go back. Check on the bar. Put checker on the bar. There we go. And escape one checker with a 6-5. And now we roll after they roll their double fives and attack us. Oh, so mean. We roll double fives. How do we play double fives? Well, our best chance in an attacking game to defend, to survive is to survive the attack, and the best way is to get out of harm's way. So that means playing something like this right here. bring the checker in and around, and then not leave them a direct shot. Okay. Does that make sense? We are now 10 pips ahead by doing this. And we have a good racing game plan that we can play. Right? So it's going to be a racing game plan against them preparing to get another shot. So this means that they in this position will try and split these back checkers next turn. They can't do it with double fives, but anything else they can split. And they should do that to try and increase the chance of setting another checker back here. Okay. So our game plan. Am I switching directly? No, I have to say share. Oh, the other mark is here too. Good, both marks. So when we're playing that racing game plan against the attacking game plan, and again, it's not letting me switch. Our game plan is to survive the attack. And having survived that attack, we're making it hard we made it impossible basically, or harder for our opponent to play the attacking game plan. And again, not having sufficient checkers in the zone will make them stop attacking if they're smart. Even if we scored we made an anchor, and maybe they don't have enough ammunition, which means they've fallen back in the race, and we can play a racing game plan from there. So basically, when we're playing against an AGP, our goal is to survive the attack. Yay, let me go from the next slide to the next slide directly. Okay. So when we're playing against a priming game, yes, the other button worked too, good. When we're playing an RGP, can you guys see that? Make sure you guys can see that.
Yep, we're good.
Okay, good. We are playing an RGP when our best chance lie in racing. So we're usually ahead in the race when we do that. So look at these two positions right here. Compare them. The one on the left. Well, so essentially they're both contact game plans, right? And we know there's two ways to win a contact game plan. One way is to win the race, and the other way is to get a blot, hit the blot, contain the blot, and win from there. Okay. So with the position on the left, you're ahead in the race. But if you do hit a blot, you've got really no way to contain it. So the better way to try and win this one is to play it as a racing game plan. There's there's two ways to win that contact game plan. So if we focus on the branch that races, our chance will be better if we just play it as a race. On the right-hand side, we are behind in the race by 35 pips. So if we do if we play it as a racing game, we're probably going to lose. If we step up and jump out, we're probably going to lose. They may not even hit your checker. They probably won't even hit the checker. If you roll a 2-6 and escape, they may just forego hitting that checker, that blot, because they're so far ahead in the race. So the better branch to follow is to play as a contact game plan where you try and hit a blot and contain that blot, which you can do with your checkers like this, the structure that you have, and then contain the checker and win from there. Okay. So even though these are both contact games, the left one played as a racing game, and the right one played more like a hit a block contain. They're different in that sense. Okay. So with the one on the left, you're definitely going to be trying more for a racing game plan. The one on the right, you're probably definitely going to be playing more for a contact game plan.
So
Okay.
what if you rolled a 6-2 and you're the brown?
And which side?
Each side, what would you do?
Okay,
Same.
let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know
I
that
know
this
what you
one,
do on the left side, I think. Just run.
right, so just run, right? And is there a way I can just change the dice here? No, there's no way I can do that. Okay. What are you guys looking at? Make sure you're looking at the right thing. Yeah, you're looking at the right thing. So let's say we have a 4-2 to play here. Okay. All we can do is step up, right? Because we're going to try and play this as a race. So let's look at this part first, Sydney. Okay. And then for the position on the right-hand side, if we step up and we try and play it as a race, look at where this one comes in. Way down here, right? Actually saying it's so much better to just improve your frontal position. Don't try and play it as a race, right? Just make your 4-point or prepare to improve your prime somehow. Versus
So if you rolled a 6-2, you would also improve your prime and not move closer, right?
okay, so let's look at right. Let's go back to XG and look at both situations. And set the original position. So the one on the left, which is one we think we should be focusing on the racing game plan.
Some of White's checkers are off, Mike. Yeah, there we go.
And we have white on black on roll. Let's see, where's black? Okay. Okay, so 6-2, and is this a checker play? It's a checker play. Okay. 6-2 to play.
I don't think this is set up right, Mike. It's reversed. The board is reversed.
Oh, you're right. Oh, okay. So have I been doing that for the other ones too?
No, this is the first time.
Okay. So let's make it easy for myself here.
But we understand where it's supposed the numbers underneath, so
Okay.
there you go.
That's still wrong in terms
No,
of
it's still wrong.
okay. I'm gonna read it's just I'm
We're
looking
not
at
in the home board. That's right. Yeah, there we go.
it makes it easy for me to set it up. I'm looking at the position from the other side. Sorry, here. Two round crashed. 6-2 to play. Should we run away? That's what we're thinking, right?
Mhm.
Oh, we have to run away. Okay, let's make it a little worse here. Let's give ourselves the chance, the option of rolling a 6. Okay, is it still the case we're going to run away? It's still the case by a huge margin.
Yes.
Right? We're going to run away 2-6. Okay, because we're crashed. So let's say we have the other position right here. So let's see, 1 and da. Okay. So what's different is Is this correct? I think this is correct. Yep. Okay. So if we roll a 2-6 here, and it's brown on roll, it's going to take a little while longer to think about it. But should we be playing it as a racing game and running away? Or should we be playing it as more as a contact game?
Or strengthen your prime or whatever your.
So strengthen our
Do you have
position.
to worry about getting gammoned with that?
Right? I'm sorry, one more time.
Do you have to worry about getting gammoned with that one?
Yes, in all positions you have to worry about that. So I was trying to kind of push that off for a little while.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. It's
Kevin's
all,
always thinking.
yeah, I'm trying to.
If you strengthen your board, then you can potentially, if you are able to hit them, then it makes it a little bit harder for them to come in, right?
Right. We
Or
want
I
them
mean,
to,
that's
right.
kind of
'Cause the 3 parts to win the contact game plan for us would be generate a blot, hit the blot, contain it. So if we have a prime, we don't necessarily have to strengthen our board. If maybe we can make the 9 point. It becomes a 5 prime then, right?
or the 4 point.
Or the 4 point in this case. So either one is good. But if you make it, we'll learn when we go over the contact game plan that if we build it from the back, all these checkers are closer. Right? And we'll have a better chance of making a 5 prime or a 6 prime and then rolling it forward. If we make this point right here, which in this position is the best thing to do, right? Now these checkers are farther away from improving our position. Right?
Okay.
Whereas if we do something like this right here, which doesn't go to a 5 prime, but we want to go to a 5 prime. Now at least these checkers are closer, right, to helping to lengthen the prime. Okay. So because we're going to have a few rolls to improve. If we needed to make sure we had the strongest position right now, we'd make the 5 prime like this. But if we probably have a couple more rolls to improve, we want to be at our maximum strength whenever that time is going to come, we're going to probably get a blot to hit, right? So you can see it's not a huge difference in this case to play this and run away, but it's still an error because the concept we're playing is we want to play this more as a content game plan, which means don't race as much. Okay? But let's say we change it a little bit. Do I have to start over again? I think I have to start over again. Okay. This is the great thing about new BG Blitz and XG is that you can tweak these positions. You can say, I want to look at this situation if maybe they have another guy to aim at us if we run out. So 6-2 from this position right here. Now if we run out, they have another way to hit us. Is it still right to run away? I think we saw that it was a 0.025, a small error to run away when they had their 2 checkers on their midpoint. But is it the same or is it worse or is it better to try and run away when they have 2 attackers aiming at us?
Not so good.
Right, I would be less prone to run away with the chances of us being sent back to
Right.
purgatory or wherever it is that you're back.
And make the 4 point.
I think a lot of time the struggle is how long do I stay back there? Like, should I move up a little even if I'm not going to come all the way out? Or like, how long do you stay on the 24 spot by yourself?
You move up to the 22.
Oh wow, this is interesting. I would have thought it would gone the other way. It says running is better by a small amount now.
Still,
Hmm. Okay, but it's still slightly better to improve your position. So, Cindy, the answer to that question is you look at the two components of the contact game plan, which we haven't talked about yet. It's the fourth of the different game plans we'll talk about. And so there's two ways to win that contact game plan is just to race, convert to a race and win. And the other way to win it is to generate a blot, hit that blot, then contain it. Okay? So you balance those two things and you figure which is your better way of winning. And that also will tell you or give you a good idea of losing your chance of losing a gammon, right? But the bigger consideration is should I be playing it as a racing game plan component of the contact game plan, or should I be playing it more as a hit a blot and contain it side? Right? That's the bigger consideration. Because I would think that the chance of losing a gammon are going to be fairly similar.
Okay, thank you.
Because if you don't step up, okay, if you stay back, you can at least advance the checkers in your outfield and be closer to saving the gammon. Right? So that's and versus stepping up, you can get hit and pointed on. And these guys might get frozen if you dance. Right? So that's a trade-off you make, whether you step up or you don't step up. Okay. So with one checker back, you step up and try and escape. Sometimes you're playing the racing game plan against them. If you have two checkers back, you can escape with one checker and then later on escape with the other one and race. Or it might be better to establish an anchor at the edge. So in this position, that would be right here in the 22 point, because you can leap. If you have an anchor at the 23 point, you don't have any direct way to get out. Right? You have to roll a 1 then a 5, or 1 and a 6 to get out. So with two or more checkers back, anchoring the edge is kind of a good thing. It's probably a better strategy. Okay. So distracting, this floating point thing. Okay. So here's a two checker back position, and that's just basically what I was talking about last time. Maybe you can roll a 2-6 or 1-6 and escape, or maybe you can roll 1-2 or double aces to make the 22 point. Okay. So basically the idea is to try and win the race. All right. So full freedom. We're back to not letting me move directly. Full freedom. That means when you escape both your back checkers. Is that kind of an advantage or kind of a tactical advantage? Yes, because they can't directly play an attacking game plan and they can't directly play a priming game plan. Now they have to do something else in preparing for us. So the best possible situation when you're playing against that priming game plan is to escape both those checkers. Okay, so that leaves the racing game plan versus the content game plan. Okay, again, we're going to go through in next lesson the attacking game plan, the lesson after that the priming game plan, and the lesson after that the content game plan against each of the other types of game plans. So the last situation in our big grid is racing game plan versus the content game plan. And there's a lot of them. Maybe you're playing a closed board. You know what? Let's do this. Let's take what time is it now? Yeah, let's take a break and maybe about a 5-minute break. And then when you come back, you can put your hand up. Not to share. use that icon thing or a raise hand or something. Use that and you let me know that you're back. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, about 5 seconds, 5 minutes from now. I need to use this as a top on the
Now we came.
I saw who was in that window right there. It said Sydney, the backgammon queen. It's like
I was wondering if you guys would notice.
you know our strongest men's figure skater, Ilya Meladin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He gave himself the name the Quad God because
Uh-huh.
he can do all those quads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see all the hands up, but I think everybody's here, right?
I'm here.
Oh, maybe Subu's not here.
Alan, I sent you a message.
Oh, I'll check the chat. You coming today?
The message is, do you want to ride?
It's in our place today.
What?
It's in Windward Passage today.
Oh, then I guess I won't give you a ride.
No need for a ride today.
Hmm. Okay. I don't know how long has it been? Has it been 5 minutes or
I don't know. I didn't look at my watch.
I think
More or
it's
less.
4 minutes or so. Okay. Well, we'll give Subu one more minute to come back. This is not my normal breakfast. This is what's it called? Uncrustable, but someone gave this to me yesterday at the hike. It's something you can buy at Costco or Sam's Club in bulk,
Gross.
but not the best diabetic breakfast. Okay. So where are we? We're at the share here. So all these different situations for a racing game plan versus the contact game plan. So just a quick review. Contact game plan is when they are trying to get a blot. They generate that blot if they can by setting up their defensive structure. They want to hit that blot, and then you want to contain it with some kind of a prime somewhere. Right? So a lot of things to think about here. But first of all, where is the cube in all this? Come on, move slides. There you go. It should be on your opponent's side, right? You should have doubled them before before you get to a situation where you're bearing off against their anchor or their checkers on the bar. It is possible that the position became, oops, excuse my English, too strong very quickly. There should be two O's in that, too strong, very quickly. And it was better to play on for the gammon instead of doubling. But it's more likely that you missed a double. I'm pausing for dramatic effect. So that's one of the great things about playing with taking one of your daily gammon matches, throwing it into XG or BG Blitz, and it says, hey, you missed a double here. And you look at it and you say, oh, yeah, okay. It doesn't look like it's strong enough. And it didn't occur to me at the time to double. But when you think about the market losing sequences, look at the number of rolls that make it too strong that they don't want to take anymore. Then I should have doubled. Okay. So it's possible it became too strong very quickly, but it's more probable that you just missed a double. Okay. So the first situation, you're bearing off with a closed board and O having either one checker or more than one checker on the bar. Okay. So here white has two checkers on the bar. You're bearing off. How do we play double twos?
6-4 and 5-3.
Okay.
Put the board back up, because
I
I
am.
thought it
Yeah.
says something else.
I'm switching to XG.
Okay, thank you. No visual me. Gotta see it.
Different board this
Oh.
time.
Let's see. Let's go back to the other one. Yeah, no, it's on the right way. Okay. Come on, talk
I
to me.
think you can take 2 off and then fill that spot.
Yeah.
But
Two off.
I glanced at it too quickly to make sure.
Yeah, so I said I just wanted to go to XG to do it.
4 to
Okay.
2 and 2 to off.
So it looks like you have a closed bar, closed board with 2 checkers on the bar. And we have a closed board. And we have double 2s to play. Okay. So we always have to look at our goals for the position, our boundary conditions. If we're playing in a match and we're essentially a double match point, or we only need 1 point to win, then we don't care about winning a gammon, right?
Right.
So the best play at that score would be clear from the rear.
Mhm.
Okay. Safest. We're very unlikely to get hit in this position. And you probably just win the race going away. You're 99.4% chance to win the race here. What happens though if gammons do matter a bit? Then if gammons matter, our best play becomes just taking 2 checkers off.
Mhm.
Don't let them in. We're going from 99 point something percent chance of winning by not playing the really super safe play. We've lost about 4% in winning chances, but we've gained a lot in gammon chances. So when gammons matter, this is the best play. And then master play, or they need here's one situation where we really, really, really want a gammon, right? We're at 0 points. They have 2 points. We're playing to 4. So here we really, really want to play pushing for the gammon. Let's flip it a little bit. We're still right to when we only need 2 points. And let's see, we should be only never mind. Forget all this right here. It's just it becomes too messy there. Okay.
Mike, are there kind of rules of thumb for what your gaming chances are in positions like that? Yeah.
There are.
Okay.
I can either point you to a previous lesson where we looked at the chances of getting a gammon with 1 checker on the bar and closed out versus 2 checkers on the bar and 3. And in general, and this is something I actually figured out a while back. It was Danny Kleinman in the 1970s who figured out with 1 checker up on the bar, and having the board filled in for them so they don't have any vacant spots, right?
Okay.
And if your hands are getting tired, you can drop your hands too if you want to. Okay. Yeah. So he said he did a mathematical analysis because he was a mathematician, and he said about 5% chances with a single checker up on the bar.
Okay.
Okay, 2 checkers closed out, about 40%. and 3 checkers close out about 92%.
Okay.
And those numbers the bots tell us are pretty
Mhm.
much
Okay.
the same, right? Right now. Although I haven't checked it recently. Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
But that's important to know when you're weighing two things against each other, increasing your winning chances, but giving up some winning chances to get more gammons. And I don't think I have time to go over that today. But basically, you're playing on a money game. You're willing to give up one win, 1% win or one win for 2 gammons. If you get 2 gammons. So if you get more than 2 gammons for that one extra loss, then you want to go for it. Okay. That's the basic math. Right? It's later in the lesson, but I don't think we're going to get there today. Okay. So, this is all. I've got a bunch of detailed stuff too, but let's do it this way. Okay. So we know what the safest position is moving 2 checkers here off of these right here and staying even. Okay. So even is a really good situation to be in when you have checkers close out on the bar. And so that's a safe position. This is also a fairly safe position. You're not gonna, okay, safe first of all means you're not gonna roll any numbers that are gonna expose a blot. And relatively safe means that next roll, you'll still be in a position that is safe. So Michi calls that having a stable position, safe and stable position. You're safe now and you'll be safe next turn also. Okay. So it becomes a little more dangerous when you have something like this right here. You have 2 numbers that'll force you to leave a block next turn. You're in this position. There were none. So it's safe now. And safe next turn probably. But here, if you roll double 6s or double 5s, you're going to expose a lot. If he or she hits you, then you're going to lose probably. Right? So this is fairly safe, but it's not quite as safe as the other 2 positions. One way to think about those other positions are even, like this, on the 2 outside points. Because usually what you're trying to do inside any type of contact position to clear it is to clear from the rear. Because that point is usually the hardest point to clear. You clear from the rear usually. There might be checkers out here too, and the same thing applies. Clear from the rear usually. That's almost always the safest thing to do. Odd is another one that is safe, right? Then you start to get some of the ones that are a little more dangerous. We looked at this one already. Even and odd, where the two rolls are forced to leave a shot. And then even and odd maybe. Let's move the checker down a little bit. Okay. That's still somewhat safe and still somewhat stable. The dangerous ones. What are the dangerous ones? How does that look? Dangerous, right?
Trouble.
A lot of numbers. I mean, 6s are forced. So hey, what do you have to play the other number if it's not a little? Well, let's see. There's a lot of numbers. We can add them up and we can see a lot of numbers will cause you to leave a shot. So you can think of this as odd and even. So in terms of just looking at them, even and even on the back is safest, odd and odd on the back is safest, is pretty safe. And then things like this right here become more and more dangerous. Okay. Let me see. So if we go to a position like this right here, how should we play a 2-1?
6-4, 6-5.
Okay, if we play it 6-4, 6-5, we're going to be odd, odd, which is fairly safe, right? Because the next roll, if we roll a 6-5, with two numbers, 5, 6, 6, 5, we're forced to leave a blot. Okay, so that looks like this right here, right? Odd, odd, forced to leave a blot on 6-5. Okay, what if we do this? Take one off and play to the 1 point. Even, even. So safer back here, but now we've created a cavity. We've created a gap. And essentially they're attacking us from here now, right? Because we have to be careful not to leave a blot. And it's easier to leave a blot this way than having a solid base right here. Okay. So those are two that you consider. You can also consider breaking the 5 point and the 4 point. And XG quickly thinks this is by far the best. You're not making an interior gap. I like to use the dentist analogy, right? A cavity tends to get bigger and bigger if it's unattended. Okay. So best by far. Okay. Well, let me show you one more even position. There's got to be a way I don't have to set up a new one every time. Okay. So this is another even position. And this is really safe also. Okay. So think even, safest, safest, safest. Okay. And we look at some that get a little more dangerous, right? So even something like this right here. We looked at this position right here, a lot of them. And well, just for kicks, let's see what we got here. We've got 82% chances. But now let's move the checker here, which is still kind of dangerous, right? Because it's even and odd. We still got really good chances to win this thing. But again, our chances of getting hit are they're a little bit better than this one, right? A bit less chance of being hit than this one right here. Less chance of leaving a blot. Okay. But then just like the other one with a single blot on the 6 point, this one's really dangerous too. Lots of ways to leave a blot. Oh, I never changed this from unlimited game. That's probably why we get some strange results. Okay. Okay, so visually looking at it, will give you an idea. The thing to think about is constrained numbers. Okay. In this case right here, 6s and 5s are constrained. They both have to come from here. 4s can come either from the 5 point or the 4 point. 3s can come for a few plates, and 2s and 1s, more places. So you look at constrained numbers, and that'll give you an idea of how often you're going to be leaving a blot. Right? So the overriding concept again is clear from the rear. Okay. With that 6-2. And let's do an easy one here. How do we play a 6-1? I'm trying to stay away from all the nitty-gritty, but these are kind of interesting here. 6-1. I think you guys know how to play 6-1. I put my money, I bet my life on it.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yes, there's a lot of pressure on you, but I've got faith in you. Hopefully you play it like this for my sake.
For your sake, yes.
Not much choice. No.
Anything else is a huge blunder, right? But if we have a 5-1 here, how do we play that? If we follow a rule of clear from the rear, we're going to break the 6 point and have an odd on the 5 point, and even on the 4 point. No, not so good, right? So the better one. Oops, where do we go?
Better to clear the 5 point.
Let's see, let's go. What did I do to make this work? So let's set it up this way. 5-1, da da da. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. Better to create inside gap cavity and not clear from the rear in this case, because this is what the clear from the rear looks like. You make a lot of lots because you've got constrained numbers here, right?
Right.
So that's the thing to think about when you're comparing something like this to something like this. You want to look at constrained numbers. That'll give you an idea of short-term versus long-term danger. The long-term goal is not to leave any blots at all. Right? And normally that means playing for short-term safety. There were lots of problems in books that said, here's a position where you should sacrifice long-term safety and volunteer a blot. But in doing so, your chances of winning will go up. Well, in almost all those cases, that's wrong. Normally, short-term safety trumps all that, because you look at the 36 possible rolls that could happen to you next turn, and then their rolls, the 36, the short-term safety is better than the long term, because you have to go down further and further, more and more branches before maybe you leave a shot in the long term. And so those are less important, right? So it's more important to look at short-term safety in most cases. Okay, so we did cover a bit of what to do, the balancing act we're playing between increasing our chances of winning a gammon versus increasing our chances against the chance of losing, right? And that's what we want to think about in all positions where winning a gammon might make sense. And we didn't do the, never have time to do that today, I think. We were bearing against an ace point, bearing against the deuce point, bearing against the 3 point, bearing against the 5 point, bearing against the bar point. Okay. So we can't as easily with this one here saying, just look at how pretty this position is, even, right? We can't do that as easily with the bearing against an anchor. But the same concepts apply. Look at the constrained numbers that you have. If you're playing against an ace point anchor, the point one less than the highest one. Let's say you have the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points made against that ace anchor. The point that is constrained is the 5 point. Fives have to come from there. You cannot play a 5 from the 6 to the 1, right? So that gives you an idea of probability of leaving a blot and what choice you want to make in terms of playing safely. And then you need to look at short-term versus long-term safety. And then you need to look at chance of winning gammons. Right? So all three of those will affect your checker play. Okay. So again, the chance of winning gammon, that ties into your game plan also. Okay. All right. Questions, preguntas, mondai.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to see some of you guys
See you later, yeah.
later. And Kathy coming, Jane coming.
No, I have to teach
No,
today.
yeah. Today's
Maybe class, Jane.
classes. That's only for 4 weeks or something, right? Hopefully
8.
8. Ah,
Yeah.
okay. 8 weeks for that. Okay. I don't think
It'll be a while. Yeah.
And the other thing is that the beginning class, a different format this time around, right? Instead of just the Zoom classes to teach the rules and then sending them out on their own, we did Zoom class for the first one and then 5 classes for in person.
Nice.
So I think James will agree that the last one was illuminating. It was good for everybody, right? So
Yes.
so the rest of you are also invited if you want to come and work with the beginners, right? Because they're pretty good. So we're going to be Tuesday for the next 4 Tuesdays. We'll be at 1938 Indochine. Okay.
Oh, what time?
What time is it, James? 11 o'clock, right?
11.
For those 4 times. Okay. Alrighty.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.